Hi there, Cancer. Welcome. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. You are watching a general love reading for the sign of Cancer for the second half of November 2020. So typically I do 3 readings per sign every month, but I've got some stuff going on towards the end of the month, and so I won't be able to upload and record videos. And so this is a reading for the second half of November for Cancer. I want to remind my viewers, of course, because this is a general reading, it can't apply to any kind of relationships, situations, or circumstances that you might be dealing with. It's also important, Cancer, to remain flexible with the energy. You can be represented by any of the characters that might show up in the cards. You might feel like I'm reading for you, but you could potentially feel like you're cross-watching for somebody else. Parts of the reading may resonate, other parts may not. So take what does and leave the rest. I hope you enjoy the reading. I hope that it resonates, and I hope that it's worth your while. I hope you get something out of it. That's my intention. Okay, Cancer? So we're going to get started here shortly. If you are brand new and you want more information, check out the description box below. And welcome, and thank you for tuning in and giving me the opportunity to read for you. I hope that you like the reading, and I hope you stick around. And I would just want to say a quick thank you to all of my returning viewers. I appreciate your support. Thanks so much for coming back and viewing more of my videos. Okay, Cancer, so here we go. We're going to start off with the Ace of Cups in reverse, paired with the Two of Swords in reverse, Temperance in reverse, Knight of Pentacles, the Emperor in reverse, Three of Cups, Two of Cups in reverse, and then we have the Hierophant. So Cancer, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Emperor with Ace of Cups. I think you're dealing with a specific relationship within a group dynamic, one that might be causing you some problems or some grief. Feels like there's some kind of imbalance within a group dynamic. So it could be one person that you don't get along with, or somebody that you don't like, or there could be a connection that's been severed, but there's still a connection through, again, a workplace, a family dynamic, a group of people. Maybe there's this disconnect with a specific relationship, but you still have the same circle of friends or something of that nature. But it's creating some kind of imbalance, I think, within a group dynamic. You might feel like there needs to be a decision made or some kind of action taken with regard to this problem. It might be causing problems for other people. Let's see what else we get for Cancer. We have the Seven of Swords, Three of Swords in reverse, Six of Wands, Five of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Wands, the Moon, Seven of Wands, and then the World. So I definitely think that there is a specific connection that's causing issues for other people or within a group or family dynamic, because the one connection or the one relationship is having issues. There's problems, there's conflict. It's not being resolved, it's not being talked about necessarily, it's not being addressed. I think it's being ignored. I think that other people know, the people surrounding this dynamic know that there's something up, even if it's not being talked about. So I feel like it's causing problems because, okay, so let's say this is a specific connection within a social circle, for example. With the Seven of Swords coming out here on top of this Ace of Cups, I feel like because there's problems within this relationship that have gone, that aren't resolved, that have been ignored or not addressed, conflict hasn't been addressed or acknowledged, and because of that, things are going along as normal, supposedly, but there's problems because there's this animosity within this connection. And so say, for example, you're at a party or you're at a social gathering and you don't get along with this one person, or you've had some conflict with this one person, but you're still connected because you have mutual friends, maybe it's family. And instead of addressing the issue up front or face to face to solve the problems, let's say this person is talking behind your back or saying things that aren't true as a way of retaliation or revenge, or just to get a little dig in, just to poke at you a little bit without being direct about it, without being obvious about it. If this is some kind of situation or conflict within a specific connection, within a larger group dynamic, and you don't necessarily want to let it be known that you're having problems with this person, or that there is this disconnect or lack of trust or lack of communication, or whatever the case may be, it might be being ignored, but at the same time, it really can't be ignored because you or the other person or both are kind of taking jabs back and forth at each other, or doing things under the radar that are annoying the other person. Let's say you're at a party and someone brought a cherry pie, and this person loves cherry pie, and there's one last piece, and you don't really care about cherry pie. Sure, you'll eat it, but it's not your favorite, and this person hasn't had a slice of cherry pie yet. You go into the area where the food is and notice there's one last piece of cherry pie. You grab that piece of pie and you sit down across the room and start eating the pie. And the person notices you eating the pie, and they're like, oh shit, they've got cherry pie. I gotta go get myself a slice of pie. And they go in there and realize that there's no more pie left and you're eating the last piece. That's just an example. Maybe it's a specific example for one of you out there. But that would be a type of little dig that you might get at somebody that will cause them now to feel spiteful towards you and want to get you back in some way. So that's just an example. It's a mild example. It's a petty example. Probably not one that would cause significant conflict within a group. But it gives you the idea of where I'm going with what I'm seeing in the cards. I think this is probably more severe than you eating the last piece of cherry pie. Cancer. I do get the feeling like other people are recognizing this imbalance. So it feels like with the Six of Wands coming out here, there is this recognition that there's something needs to be addressed, something needs to be talked about, something needs to be resolved. Because ultimately, if it's not, let's say it's something petty now, right now you're just taking that last piece of pie. If it doesn't get resolved, maybe something bigger might happen, and then ultimately things start affecting other people because just by default they're around, they see what's going on, and so maybe people start taking sides, that kind of thing. So it needs to be addressed. Let's get some more cards out here for Cancer and see what else we get. 5 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, the Empress in reverse, clarifying the Emperor in reverse, the Knight of Swords, Seven of Cups in reverse, and then we have the Three of Wands in reverse. Okay, so this Emperor and Empress in reverse are the two people that are connected to this Two of Cups in reverse. This is the relationship in question. This is the relationship that's got some kind of conflict attached to it. And I feel like I'm reading for this Emperor in reverse, because I also feel like this Emperor is this Knight of Wands. I feel like the Emperor is being looked at as someone who needs to address the issue or take action with regard to whatever is going on within this connection. At this point in time, it feels like the answer is to ignore it or to not address the issue, to kind of keep it swept under the rug, avoid talking about it, but others know. So this isn't a big secret. If you think it's a big secret, it's not. Other people are aware of what's going on, even if it's not being talked about. And again, I do get the sense of there's some grief surrounding this connection because it's the fact that it's not being talked about, or the conflict is not being resolved, the issue's not being addressed. It's making things worse because there's this resentment that's building up. And things could be going on behind the scenes that are affecting not only the connection, but this group dynamic. I think there's this energy of Cancer, you wanting to just deal with this on your own. You don't want to get others involved. You'd rather just take care of this on your own. So you don't really necessarily want to speak about this or talk about it because you don't want other people either to know your business, or you don't want to bother them with the issue that you're having with this person. But it is something that needs to be addressed. There's something tied to this group dynamic where it's not like you can just leave. So it could definitely be a family situation, but it could be something where you've invested a certain amount of energy and time into something that you can't just pick up and leave just because you're not getting along with someone specific. And vice versa for this Empress individual. So both parties are staying put. It's not like somebody's packing up and leaving. But I do feel like the connection is suffering enough that if it were in any other circumstance, if you weren't tied to something else with regard to this group dynamic, that it would be a situation where someone would pack up and leave. But there's something else kind of keeping you tied to the situation. So we're going to get some more cards out here for Cancer and see what else we get. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Queen of Cups. she came out on the Three of Swords. So this could be third party. That's never comfortable. Because I think this Queen of Cups is somebody different. Four of Wands. The Hierophant again. The Knight of Wands in reverse, clarifying the Knight of Wands. Ten of Swords in reverse. Three of Swords again in reverse. And then we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Okay, so there's a Queen of Cups tied to a third party situation. So this could indicate, a romantic connection that might be getting in the way of this other relationship, or vice versa. Again, I feel like these two people are tied to this group dynamic, and they're not going anywhere. If it were any other situation, one or both of these parties would have already left already. But there's something keeping them tied to this situation. And again, it could be a family dynamic. Could be that this is a home or community situation, but there is something else tied to this. Could be marriage. There could be contracts. There could be agreements with regard to the situation that you're in where you can't get out of it. But there's a Queen of Cups here. So this Queen of Cups definitely feels like someone different. This feels like a third-party individual who feels very innocent in the situation. I don't feel like she's trying to cause trouble. I don't feel like she's inserting herself into a situation. This is somebody who is very compassionate and loving. Somebody who's very emotionally available. This could be somebody who's tied to one or the other of this Emperor or Empress individual. I think that she could definitely be part of the reason why there's this conflict between these two. She could be the reason, but she still feels innocent to me. She feels like an innocent bystander kind of energy. Like I didn't intend for this to happen. This is not something that this person went looking for to cause problems between two people or a group dynamic. But she is unwittingly causing problems. I think on this Emperor's part, this Emperor feels like there is at least a desire, if not a current attempt to take action with regard to the situation, either to make things right or purposely trying to just deal with the situation on his own so that he can get it taken care of and then leave it in the past. The fact that he's kind of keeping things under wraps, he's kind of keeping things to himself. I don't think he's talking to other people, even though I think to a certain extent other people already know what's going on. The problem with this Emperor taking action on his own to resolve this issue is that this Empress energy, it feels like there is a little bit of a back and forth. There is a struggle here. There's some fighting going on. There's some attempt to make things right, but there's some hurt feelings here. There's people feeling defensive. There could be anger. Again, I feel like these two might be kind of jabbing at each other, trying to one-up each other, get back at each other. A little bit of give and take with regard to that. Neither party is innocent when it comes to being the bigger person or taking the path less traveled when it comes to making decisions that are the hard decisions. When you're hurt, when you're feeling wounded, when you're feeling like someone's attacking you, the hardest thing to do is to walk away or turn the other cheek or do what others typically don't do, and that's just be the bigger person, be more mature about it. I think this Emperor gets triggered sometimes by this Empress, and so I think he's finding it hard to do what he needs to do in order to resolve the situation. Let's get this last round out for Cancer. Ace of Swords. Two of Swords again, this time in the upright position. Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. Eight of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Eight of Wands. I think this is something that could have happened in the past. So this Emperor and this Empress, it feels like these two people have had problems in the past. Possibly went unresolved and were swept under the rug. Things moved forward without resolving issues. Trying to kind of brush past it, ignore it, leave it behind so that you could move forward and make progress. Do what you need to do within this group dynamic. Again, it feels like there's this group dynamic where people are working together or collaborating together or building something together. And this could just simply be a family that is an extended family that works together or, has a home together. But it feels like in the past there's been conflict between these two that's gone on unresolved and not spoken about, kind of ignored. And I think that could be part of the reason why there's this current conflict that's being dealt with or not being dealt with. And it feels like it's building. So, for example, if there was a minor conflict in the issue that was ignored and swept under the rug, and things kind of moved along as normal, got past it, something else came up for these two, caused more problems, built upon the last issue that was never resolved, and so the problems are starting to build up. The animosity or the resentment starting to fester a little bit and build. And again, especially with this Moon and this Ten of Swords in reverse, to me this is repeated patterns, things that you haven't dealt with in the past, things that you brush under the rug that you have to try. You have to try again. You have to go back and try again because you didn't get it right the first time. And the problem is you're not getting it out in the open. You're not talking about it, expressing yourself, allowing others to know what's going on. So there's this elephant in the room, and really the elephant in the room is this disconnect between this Emperor and Empress. Nobody's talking about it, but it's what's causing the imbalance within this group dynamic. And it eventually is going to get to a point, if this is not the point where it's already gotten to, that it's going to have to be dealt with. You can't just continue to sweep things under the rug and ignore that there's an issue here. It may just be affecting this Emperor and Empress at this point in time, but the longer that these issues are ignored and the more time that passes and this event keeps reoccurring, where these problems that are not resolved or dealt with or acknowledged, eventually you're going to get to a point where you may not be able to heal your heart. You might be blocked from healing your heart because you've built so much resentment up that it's not a possibility anymore to heal. And the relationship's a done deal. And the problem with this, though, is if these two people are still connected within this group dynamic and they can't get away from each other, but the relationship can no longer be healed, or things can no longer be swept under the rug, then you're dealing with a situation where you may unknowingly or unwittingly manifest problems for others, or a disintegration of the connections you have with other people. It's going to cause problems because this issue's not being talked about or not being dealt with. The truth is not coming out in the open, and it needs to, before things get worse. So Cancer, I feel like I'm reading for this Emperor, Knight of Wands individual. And again, if you are a female, you can certainly embody this energy, but you might be this Empress as well. I don't have a lot of information on this Empress person other than the fact that it feels like she's kind of keeping to herself. She's kind of protecting herself from getting hurt any further. She has her walls up. She's like, you know what? I'm not going to allow you to keep hurting me like this. And so as far as this Empress is concerned, I don't have a whole lot of information regarding her, just that she's the other half of this troubled relationship. And again, I do feel like it's this Emperor who's kind of made this decision to deal with this on my own. I'll take care of this on my own. I don't want to get others involved. I don't want to trouble other people. If I don't talk about it, it'll just go away. Or, you know, if I just try to ignore things, eventually time will heal and we can just move past this. Am I gonna know? It's the Ace of Wands. I just feel like I wasn't shuffling enough. I'm gonna go ahead and keep shuffling. Maybe it'll pop out. The Ace of Wands did come out in your set of cards. Is that the one? But it was in reverse. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. Six of Cups in reverse. I am not surprised that this one came out. So Six of Cups, Six of Water in reverse. This can indicate a soulmate connection, a significant relationship, but one that could be troubled. It could be that there are, again, issues from the past that went unresolved, or resentment that's building up over time because of a past situation or conflict. So I'll read this out of the book for you, Cancer, and then we're going to wrap this up. I should know by now that the water section is in the back. I've been using this book for a long time now. I should know that by now. Okay, Six of Water in reverse. It's just about a half a page. I'll display the card for you in the upright. It's a beautiful card. It's probably one of my favorite images. And again, it's a potential blockage if it's in the reverse. Here we go, Cancer. The Six of Water reversed has a very simple message and meaning. It does not serve us well to give in to the desire to inflict hurt just because we believe someone to be deserving of it. And there it is. There's those jabs, the resentment, the getting back at each other type of thing that I was feeling. We may feel that we are justified, but what purpose does an act of spiteful retaliation serve but to make us less and perpetuate suffering? It can also be said that it makes us energetically the same as the person who harmed us. Therefore, the Six of Water comes to caution against embracing pettiness and retaliation regardless of the circumstances. There is always a better option than an act of spite. Anger used in this manner is rarely beneficial or healing. Instead, it perpetuates suffering. There are none who can remain untouched when cruelty is offered. Both the person who inflicts it and the person who it is inflicted upon will be marked by it. If revenge is desired, the best revenge we can mete out to anyone who has hurt and upset us is to remain peaceful and emotionally detached. We can choose to be kind to ourselves, to end our suffering by walking away, and invest our time and emotion in something more worthy. And there's what I was picking up earlier too. I mean, you can choose to be the bigger person and walk away from the situation or turn the other cheek. But I do feel like there's this animosity jabbing back and forth, trying to get back at one another, trying to cause grief for one another, a lack of compromise, unwillingness to work together, unwilling to see eye to eye. And it's just causing more significant grief between these two, but ultimately I think it's going to affect the group as a whole if the situation's not addressed, or if someone just decides, you know what, I'm not going to play this back and forth game. I'm not going to keep jabbing at you just because you're jabbing at me, or I'm not going to keep talking behind your back just because you're talking about me behind my back, or I'm not, next time there's one piece of cherry pie left in the kitchen, I'm not going to go ahead and take it and eat it in front of you, because that's just mean. It's just mean. And whatever's going on between these two, it certainly can be resolved to the point where there can be some kind of mutual decision between the two people where it's not affecting others or affecting the situation at large or the bigger picture, because there are other people involved in the situation, and the last thing you want to do is not only get them involved but then to hurt other people because you want to hurt somebody that hurt you. So I'm going to leave that here, Cancer. I hope that the reading was helpful. I hope that it resonated. I appreciate you watching. If it did resonate, please like, share, subscribe. If you feel like leaving a comment, I always appreciate that. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much, Cancer, for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.